Channel. Today we're going to do another episode of What's in the Box. So let's get started and see what's in the box. Oh my God. Well, it's a big box. So alright, here we go. Alright, let's see what we got here. What we got is CX Racing front mount intercooler and piping complete kit. Alright, I'll take it all out of the box and we'll be right back. Alright, so you can see there's quite a bit of stuff in this kit. The intercooler, I still haven't opened it yet. It was in the same box. So you'll have a couple of fairly solid hangers. These are pretty rigid. They're not little thin flexible jobs. Some couplings. You got I think it's a reducer, 2 to maybe, or actually 2.5 to, I don't know, maybe it's 2 to 2.5. So you got that. I think that's 2 3-inch couplings, 3-inch 90, 3-inch 90, and I'm thinking they're all 3-inch. That was a little smaller. That's a 3, I think it's a 3x2, possibly. So you got some 90s, you got vacuum line, got the blow-off valve. Looks pretty good. You can tell it's one of the off brands. It doesn't have any name on it or anything, but it actually looks pretty good. Comes with a gasket kit and a T and some bolts. Plenty of clamps, and 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of tubing. I'm thinking it's supposed to be one side's 3 and the other one's 2.5, something of that nature. So we'll have to confirm, which coupling goes to which side. I'm thinking the hot side is the smaller side on this. Can't remember. I'll have to recheck it, but I'll get a better shot of this stuff, so that way you can see kind of, a little better of the quality. Everything looks good. That's not a super thin. What I worry about, buying eBay intercoolers or piping or any of that, I've seen these tubes actually so thin you could literally probably squeeze them with your hand and just smash them. With these, it's not like that. This is good, good material here. This is plenty good enough for what I'm going to do. In fact, it's actually, that was at least 16 gauge, or maybe even a little thicker than that. It's not, too thin that you could just crumple like a can. And I have seen those. I have seen that kind. A lot of times it's those, like those little short adapters for like a mass airflow or something. I've seen those be super thin and just, collapsible almost. Let's get a different shot of these and you can see all this stuff. this intercooler. This thing is huge. I don't know that I bought a bigger one than I may have should have or whatever, but yeah, this thing is a monster. And it ended up coming with like a metal plate, like a it's somewhere in here. I dropped it on the side, but like a bracket, aluminum bracket, maybe to possibly weld to, add some support, maybe a top piece for like on the top of a radiator support to give it more stability. But this thing, welds look okay. I mean, for $600, I think, and some change. I think tax and all was like $7, whatever. Yeah, I think it looks great. I don't want to take it out of the packaging yet because I've still got a lot to do and I'm afraid I'm going to skin it all up. So I'm going to put the lid on this and set it to the side, and yeah, we'll look more at it once we put it in or install it. Maybe even do a little bit of an install video to see, how it actually fit. This is supposed to be for the factory turbo 1JZ kit. I don't know if it was necessarily for a single turbo or a twin turbo, but the 1J I got is a single turbo from a JZS 171. It is a Crown Athlete, a Toyota Crown Athlete or something. It's not one of the Chaser engines, so I think it's actually a little less horsepower as far as the factory trim, but I think it's pretty much a 1J just the same. It's just a single turbo, and I don't think it quite has as much power just out of the box, but it still has the the capabilities of I think 700 or something like that overall with injectors and upgraded turbo and some engine management. So maybe this thing will breathe okay. Maybe it'll free it up a little bit having a front mount on it. Yeah, we'll see. But that's our CX Racing intercooler and piping kit. I don't know that it's missing anything. It looks pretty all-inclusive, like it could have everything we need. We'll just have to get into it and see what we have to have or change or do. But so far so good. Everything looks good. The quality looks good. Yeah, I think the kit looks great. Looks solid. It is a eBay brand, I'm sure. It's an eBay blow-off valve for sure. So yeah, I think it's the eBay coupling and all that. It's just eBay kit that's been gathered up and put together. So if you could build this kit cheaper yourself, if you can figure out what the 90s are and the coupling sizes and all that, you may be able to put this kit together cheaper, but I wouldn't see that you could do it much cheaper. So this way you get all the parts you need under one roof and one brand, and you should have everything you need for your application as they have it listed. So they've researched what kits what. But I've ordered just knockoff intercoolers before and have the same orange caps on them. I'm thinking that's what I put on yeah, the first one I ordered this kit. Actually, there's an intercooler behind me, and it was a cheap eBay one. I ended up going and getting the ARM, the ARM front mount, the 700 horse, I think, for the BMW. But the first one I ordered was the cheap one, and they had the orange caps on it. So either they buy the same orange caps, or this is one of the eBay knockoff intercoolers. And that's pretty sure that's one of the eBay blow-off valves too. So it looks to me like it's just a kit put together from eBay suppliers. But again, I couldn't say that you could get it much cheaper than what they've got it priced at. So at least this way, you buy it from them, you're probably going to have everything you need as far as the brackets and mounts, because they did specify, for 1J or this or that, in whatever chassis. So that may be the best route. So I don't think it's a bad idea to buy this from them, because you're not going to really save much and everything will be here. Should be. So we'll know more about it once we get closer to install. But all right, here we go. Okay, so the second thing that's in the mail today, this is I got the AR5. Well, my flywheel and stuff is at the machine shop that's supposed to be balanced to that engine. Ow, about cut my finger. Good thing that razor's not sharp. But we got another clutch kit. The disc on the AR5, we can't use the disc. We have to use the AR5 disc. Comes with the bushing and the rings and I got another flywheel for the AR5. It's the R154 kit is actually what it is. And it's an eBay company. I think I paid 100, 200, something of that caliber for this kit. Can't use the pilot bearing and we can't use the clutch disc, but I have a disc already for the AR5 because the actual spline count is different, but you have to make sure when you buy that AR5 clutch it fits on these surfaces between the pressure plate and the flywheel. It has to mate up to these surfaces, and you have to have your bearing because it's the pull type, and I have the actual bearing and stuff, that kit. I would have imagined it would have came with that, but I don't see it. Maybe in this, that's actually probably where it's at. We'll check. And it doesn't look like it. Maybe it's, I don't know. It should have some clips and stuff. Not seeing it in the box. But I do have the clips and stuff for the retainer because this is a pull style clutch instead of the regular arm with the throw bearing. So if you know what I'm talking about, it doesn't come with any of the clips or retainers for this setup. So I do have those. So yeah, this is another eBay brand. So this is what will be in there. So if this clutch don't hold that factory motor, we'll know that this is, you know, this is like a stage 2 something. It's the 6 puck stage, I think maybe 3, maybe 2 or 3, stage 3 maybe. But I got the same disc. I bought it separate, so I don't remember what brand it is. But this is the one that you'll see it's got like an eagle or something on it. I think it's made in America. So I went and found the throw-out bearing sleeve kit. So that's the actual throw-out bearing that goes on the end of the sleeve. Maybe that comes with that part, the actual slider piece. But this is a pull style clutch. So this thing will actually go inside. I can't remember how it goes exactly. But I think it works something to this effect. It actually goes in there, and then you put these rings on it, and that holds it up, and so your clutch fork actually goes behind this, and so it pulls. So it actually pulls your throw-up bearing instead of pushes. So yeah, it's definitely a different layout than just probably what most people are used to. It's new to me too. I've never really ran this, so but you have to have those keepers. There's like lock ring areas here. You have to put all those keepers on there, those rings. And then, like I say, it pulls that deal instead of pushing like a standard kit would. So, but yeah, it didn't come with any of that. So if you're gonna run any of these R154 kits off of eBay, it doesn't come with the rings or the actual slider piece, throw-up bearing, whatever. It does come with the actual, I think this is considered the throw-up bearing, and that's maybe the, I forget, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's the piece that slides back and forth, you know, for the clutch arm. So Yeah. Well, that's the clutch kit. All right. So now I think we got something else. All right. So you can see I'm wearing my Drift Motion t-shirt. And this package is from that very place, Drift Motion. Let me tell you, those guys have definitely been the go-to guys to do the AR5 stuff and some of the 2J things that I've had, or still have. The AR5 stuff has definitely been a challenge, to say the least. But those guys definitely had, what I needed there. And to do this line is for the 240 to add the either R154 or AR5 clutch master, the line for that. So this is that jewel. And then we got a belt for our 1J with no air conditioner. I was thinking there was supposed to be 2 of these, maybe not. And I went ahead and got me a timing belt. I guess it's just a guide for the the roller for the tensioner. The tensioner pops up and hits this. That's supposed to have the wheel on it, but this is the one that they carry. I think it's a billet one actually. I paid quite a bit for it, but so I'm pretty sure it's a billet one. But they definitely, yeah, that's a billet one. I think this is Powerhouse Racing. So the Powerhouse Racing billet tension guide, I guess, is what this would be. So the wheel actually, I think bolts here. This is where it sits, and your actual tension hits this deal, and that's your tension for your timing belt. So there's your little box from Drift Motion. Again, I can't stress enough how, and I'm not sponsored by any of these people. I'm just trying all these new things, but if you're doing an AR5 swap, or if you're doing any R154 stuff, any kind of swaps for an R154 into an S chassis or any 1J or 2J stuff, let me tell you, man, they've got quite an assortment. I mean, they have anything from just your factory bolts, bell housing and clutch and all that. So definitely check into that. So they carry several brands, Powerhouse Racing. They got a little bit of everything, and that AR5 throwout bearing in the R154 flywheel. So, all right, so I went ahead and put the intercooler in. I started messing with the piping. This car already had a turbo motor in it at one time, so it pretty much went straight in the bolt holes. There was some 90 brackets, some L brackets that came with it. I put those in. Everything bolted on pretty good. It's fairly easy. This one, I had to massage it a little bit, skin it up, but I had to cut the pipe back. The motor's still leaning back a little bit, so it will actually lean forward, so I'll have to readjust. Almost like the piping was a little long in spots, so I had to kind of adjust it. So when I actually tilt the motor forward, I may have to readjust it, so I'll have to loosen a couple of the actual couplings to do that, but it's installed. CX Racing. It turned out pretty good, I guess. I did skin it up a little bit trying to put it in. One of those little J-bends right here, one is longer than the other. So I'm still not 100% sure if I got the right one on the right side. After I lean the motor forward, kind of readjust, see if I am right, but I don't know. But it's in there. So now it's time for this jewel. All right, here we go. I'm feeling high. I'm feeling